You ready?
Yep.
Colin had a problem and a microphone to spare. Thomas took it up and so the podcast went to air. For weeks and months they trolled through every single DVD. They've unwrapped all the ones they can and now they're cellulose free. Now they're cellulose free.
Hello, dear listener, and welcome to Cellulose Free. My name is Colin, and with me, as always, is my fellow film watcher, compadre, and son, Thomas.
Hi, hello.
Sorry, I really sped up there, so I needed to pull back and went too far.
Yep.
What have you been up to?
Not a whole lot, to be honest.
We'll make something up.
I went to the moon, and then I came back.
I'd like to visit the moon, but I don't think I'd like to live there.
No, it's not great up there.
No.
There's no housing, there's no shops,
And
there's not much work either.
And you think Anakin had problem with sand. Moon sand is meant to be absolutely vicious.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I came back because there wasn't much to do up there.
Was there free Wi-Fi?
No.
Oh,
No.
bummer.
No, unfortunately all the satellites are pointing in the wrong direction.
Well, welcome back.
Yeah.
I hope you got some photos.
No, unfortunately my camera got moon dust in it.
Oh, drat. I thought you were going to say, look, I packed everything and, of course, I forgot to charge the battery. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else you've been up to, in air quotes?
No, this has been an off week. Everything has either been too warm or too muggy, and
It has been a bit stinkerific.
I didn't even get done the things that I said I wanted to get done last week.
Yeah,
so,
I remember that long list that you shared.
So yeah, no, nothing.
Huh.
And you?
Much the same. I did actually get a decent couple of walks in.
Yeah.
This is going to age me terribly and be completely over your head, but it looked like yesterday when I went for a walk, at the end of it, it looked like I was wearing a Hypercolour t-shirt. Mm-hmm. And for those of you who do not know what a Hypercolour t-shirt, back in the late 80s, early 90s, a couple of companies came out with t-shirts that would change colour due to temperature.
Right.
Yeah. So you'd have a blue t-shirt that would go red wherever it got hot, and greens to yellows and weird things like that. Well, I was sort of wearing a goldy mustard coloured t-shirt yesterday, and there were bits of it that went brown due to sweaterific conditions.
Which I believe is not usually the direction that goes. With hypercolour.
No. I must confess that I think I had a knockoff. It was a trademarked thing, these Hypercolour t-shirts, and I had a knockoff that after a couple of washes wasn't terribly effective. That being said, the official ones were much the same after a number of washes. The transition state was questionable at best. But when I was that age, I don't think I sweated quite as much. I was not carrying quite as much baggage with me on any walk that I went, and so I don't remember the sweat influence as to the effectiveness of the t-shirt when sweat was involved.
Right.
But this t-shirt yesterday, that's what I said it was, but no, it wasn't. I sweated like a pig. It was humid, it was warm, but it was a good walk, and I got some good photos. Well, I think I got some good photos. You never know. I post a photo each day on various social platforms, and some that I post, I'm thinking, oh, no one's going to like this, and lots of people like it. And others I post that I think, I think this will touch a nerve. And the only nerve it seems to touch is the one that the Vulcan nerve pinch touches that causes you to go to sleep.
Right.
So, yeah, you just never know. But
such is the way of things.
But look, I do not ostensibly take photos for likes. I like taking photos and I like sharing them, and people can like them or not like them, and I don't care. Other than that, I do apologise. I do need to make an apology for last week's lateness of release. How late were we? I think about 15 minutes.
And a little later for YouTube.
Yeah, a little later for YouTube, yeah. Of course, there was a certain article in State Parliament that was going through the upper house that I thought was going to happen earlier in the week, but of course it got delayed and ended up happening during the time that I should have been editing. And for me, I'm sorry, but it was more important to me to listen to this going on. And I did so, and then desperately tried to catch up. And so, yeah, we were 15 minutes late, and I apologise. I do also forewarn you, which isn't going to be much use to, seeing as the forewarning will only be heard after this comes out. I do have a dentist's appointment tomorrow morning.
Right.
Which is going to interrupt my editing somewhat. So this may be late as well. Yeah, life is full of surprises. And I'm hoping that I don't get any tomorrow in the dentist's chair. Other than that, yeah, I don't have much to share. There was something else and I can't remember what it was. Doesn't matter. We have a film to watch.
We do.
Thomas, apparently this film is the greatest movie on earth. Or was it the best movie on earth?
The best film in the world.
Oh, sorry.
You used all three incorrect
words. Okay, so the best film in the world.
According to Peter Bradshaw at The Guardian.
Yes. So that's what we're in for today. Thomas is going to Oh, okay.
This is Kind Hearts and Coronets.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the Ealing comedies.
It is indeed one of the Ealing comedies. Yibbidi yibbidi. What's it about? Hopefully it's a little easier to read off the back of the case than it is on the scanned poorly.
I'm not surprised that it's been scanned poorly, because it's all in display type.
Excellent.
This is not a body font.
Oh dear. Well, good luck anyway.
Kind Hearts and Coronets stars Dennis Price as the debonair yet impoverished Louis Mazzini, the would-be Duke of Chalfont, whose mother was disinherited by her noble family for marrying beneath her. When her dying wish to be buried in the family crypt is refused, Louis vows to avenge his mother and work his way up the family tree by engaging in the gentle art of murder. One by one, he attempts to kill off the 8 successors that stand in the way of his becoming duke, all played by Alec Guinness, in an unforgettable tour de force performance.
As I mentioned last week, I did buy this on a whim after going down a rabbit hole on DVD. It has not even been released from its shackles of cellulose. So Thomas is going to first unwrap the case, which is something that hasn't happened in a very long time.
Which side is the edge on? This side? It looks like this side.
It's been so long. You can't even remember the easy way to do it. He's even got the fingernails to do it.
Yeah, the easy way's not so easy if you have no upper body strength.
You need to thumbnail in and slide. And that gives you an opening. This will be especially enthralling to those who get the video feed for this podcast. He's going to take it out of it. Oh no, he's still unwrapping. Yay! He's going to take it out of its case. No, he's going to make some rattly noises. He's throwing the cellulose at me, which, if it had been a brick, I would surely be dead.
No, again, I have no upper body strength. It wouldn't go anywhere.
He's going to open the case. He's going to make sure that the disc is what we're planning to watch.
It appears to be.
Right. He's going to place it into the machine. We're going to watch it, and then we're going to come back and talk about it. So we shall catch you on the flip side.
Turn to side B, where there will be less cellulose.
Yeah, I've got to clean this mess up, you mongrel. So what did you think?
I am lukewarm.
But hang on, Thomas. I'm grabbing the case here and reminding you that it is the best film in the world.
According to
Pete. Good old Peter Bradshaw? Yeah. Peter Bradshaw of The Guardian. Oh, there's more on the back. Perhaps the greatest ever British film. That was The Spectator. And a technically brilliant and savagely funny by Little White Lies. And lots of 5 stars.
I did find it funny in places. Part of the problem is that 8 murder targets is too many.
Uh-huh.
And so we sort of skip over some of them.
Some got bumped off very quickly. Spoilers, yes.
And some we were left to sit with for possibly a little too long.
Okay. All right.
And things are not helped by reproducing Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo in its original form.
Yes. Keeping in mind that original form was still well and truly being sung in my childhood, and not even a thought given. And is there retrospective guilt? Yes, but retrospective guilt in the context of we had no idea. Completely clueless. And they certainly gave a warning at the beginning. Before the film started, there was a disclaimer that the decision had been made to include it in its original form, keeping in mind the sense and sensibility of the period, etc., yada, yada, yada. And I don't know what else they could do, really. There was something else that was insensitive that I thought, oh, okay, it was that. and then, all right, I guess they still needed to put that disclaimer, I understand. But then the Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo comes along and said, no, it's probably more for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a thing.
Yeah.
And rightly or wrongly, I think they made the right decision to put the warning and let it be, I guess. It's a tough one.
Cultural context or not, I didn't like it.
No, fair enough. And neither do I. No. Like I say, I cringe now every time I do hear it in its original form, knowing that I myself have stood in a school ground just a couple of 100 metres away from us right now with feet all pointed into a middle circle and me myself going eeny, meeny, miny, mo. And yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And hopefully it won't be from here on in. It, I guess, is also an educational opportunity to possibly give us hope that we've moved on a bit, but one wonders. One does wonder.
Ultimately, though, I just didn't find the film as funny as I hoped it might be.
Right.
Yeah.
I think, this is a flip from last week, I think I felt a little more for it than you did. Once I'd settled into the flow and the format of how this was going to proceed, I just went with the flow. And I found the pacing, once that had settled down in my head, quite satisfactory. And I really quite enjoyed it. And the ending, I especially appreciated due to all the stuff that had preceded. Mm-hmm. I think that ending was very much in keeping with the... I mean, we're dealing with someone who, yes, was treated badly, and family treated badly, but he wasn't a very nice person.
No.
But the way he presented his story was that this was the right thing to do. In his mind, everything that he did was justice being served, and it was the right thing to do. When it obviously wasn't. He was a horrible man, dealing with equally horrible people. And I think everyone, except for one person, got their comeuppance. And that was... No, I'm not going to give away who it was. You know who it was. No, no idea. The wife.
Right.
The married before the execution wife. or Married Before the Trial. Was it before the execution? Or
It was during the trial.
It was during the trial, yeah. She was a decent enough sort, but here I am playing judge, jury and executioner for people who may not have been as nasty as... Who can say? I can say this is the second week in a row where we have a unconvincing painted backdrop.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the brief cemetery scene where the backdrop appeared even closer than last week's sky backdrop. And that was a painted backdrop of a cemetery going further off into the distance. Very obviously painted. I'm glad that this is on the shelf, and it will certainly stay on the shelf for longer than Batteries Not Included, which I must confess, randomly during this film, when I saw the old record player in the background, my mind wandered just briefly as to how many hundreds of old 78 rotations per minute records that would have played are sitting in sheds and on shelves, never being played because nobody's got anything that will play 78 records. And then I thought about my shelf of DVDs and Blu-rays and the lingering concern that, yes, this media may survive. I've certainly not come across any discs that have shown any signs of disc rot that is supposedly becoming somewhat rampant in older disc media, but it's the machines that are going to play it. And I did a mental process of how many machines are still in the house that will play our DVDs and Blu-rays.
I can see
there's three in
from
here. Or four.
And there's a fourth hidden
there's
away.
four.
No, yeah, there's a fourth I can see there.
Yes. And one in your room.
2 in my room. And computer counts.
Oh, that won't play Blu-rays though.
Oh, well, no.
So it's getting to a stage where I may have to take a wander into JB Hi-Fi and buy a backup machine just for just for that occasion when things start going hideously wrong and you can't buy the machines anymore. Anyway, I digress. This is staying on the shelf. I quite liked it. And you go meh, as I did last week. And I recommend it. I certainly think the statement, I would like to know how that is in context with the rest of the Guardian review, but the best film in the world, no. It wasn't. No. it was in no way, shape or form, and can't imagine it ever being considered that. But I do like it, very much so. And you don't. And that is the way it is. Do you have anything else you wish to say about Kind Hearts and Coronets? He's checking how much it made at the box office.
No.
He's looking up the Guardian review and discovers it doesn't actually exist. It was made up. Like reviews for a certain Francis Ford Coppola movie.
Let's add more words to this search.
I don't know. Here I was thinking that I'd get this edited this night so I can pace the house all morning before I go to the dentist.
Well, I'm not finding it on the internet. Which is not to say that it did not appear in print, but neither of the 2 articles on the Guardian's website by Peter Bradshaw relating to Kind Hearts and Coronets contain the phrase best film, let alone best film in the world.
Right, okay. Yeah. Interesting. The plot thickens, but we're not going to sit here Googling it for the rest of the night. Do you have anything else to contribute to that other than the cover is a lie? It's a conspiracy. All right then. Well, we might move on then.
The following segment has no title. Thank you.
And we will start over on Discord with Entuosferatu.
Hi, Entuosferatu.
Ding! Batteries Not Included holds specific childhood memories for me. Not because I loved it. I seem to remember thinking it was fine and kinda sad. Which sounds about right.
Yeah.
But because of how I watched it. My parents were early VHS adopters. We had a big, chunky, wood-panelled top-loader, and later a home camcorder, and thus tons of embarrassing, low-quality family video.
Excellent.
We had a lot of VHS tapes on super extra long play, with recordings of movies from TV.
Nasty.
Both broadcast specials, which I have no idea if it's a thing anymore. There's still a couple, you know, every now and then.
I wouldn't know either.
And from weeks of free HBO or Disney Channel. The number was surprising looking back on it, given the cost of a blank VHS at the time.
Yep.
Each tape tended to have 3 movies, and because they were filmed from TV in whatever order things were on, the movies on a tape often had no particular relation to each other. Each title was written in pen and then underlined in a colour. Red for movies my sister and I were not allowed to watch. Yellow, we had to ask, things like the Tim Burton Batman. Or green, watch any time. Ding!
Hang on, I need to ask.
Yeah.
Did they have the time code written next to it? Because that's how ours were, so that you could wind it through to the film you're looking for on that extra long recorded. Oh, those were the days. Do go on.
Ding!
Ow.
Ding! Batteries Not Included was green, but I don't think we watched it often. Much more popular was Cinderella, my sister's favourite in the puffy plastic Disney case. Star Wars trilogy, my favourite. And Extremely Degraded, recorded over and over and over. The latest episodes of Full House.
Memories. Wonderful.
Alec Guinness and Peter Sellers reminds me of Murder by Death. A good, if problematic, watch.
Yes. Problematic in much the same way as Breakfast at Tiffany's has a real problem with really bad ethnic representation, and Murder by Death is quite famous for that as well. And One of Our Dinosaurs is Missing had Peter Ustinov, I think, playing a Chinese spy, maybe. I digress. Except I'm going to have to now look up the cast of One of Our Dinosaurs is Missing. It's my turn to extend the... Okay. Definitely has Peter Ustinov in it. And here. Snup Wen he played. Yes. In fact, there we go. I'm showing Thomas a brief video of him playing a quote-unquote Chinaman. Yeah, same problem. Indeed. Something that you would think you wouldn't get away with these days, except it wasn't all that long ago. The Lone Ranger.
Mm-hmm. Depp.
Yeah, Johnny Depp. Yes. I mean, I know that is also still a few years ago, but it still goes to show that we haven't learnt much. Anyway, thanks Entuosratu for making me digress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, on Facebook, Helen
Hi, Helen.
says, I think I have a VHS copy of Ding! Batteries Not Included kicking around somewhere. Obviously, I must have enjoyed it enough, or had heard good enough reports of it, to buy a copy, and I think I watched it once. My recollection was that it was okay, but not brilliant, and on the strength of the lukewarm review, I might not bother with a rewatching. Too many other things a priority.
Yep.
By the way, with all due respect, some days I don't know what Thomas is talking about. Not all aspects of our universes overlap. It's not helped by my rambles being unscripted and thus not particularly well structured.
And lots of brain zinging going on. I should admit that there is a lot of nod faux knowingly from both sides that goes on in the Deranged Cat studio. In fact, even the Deranged Cat is guilty of it.
Some of my nodding faux knowingly is that I am too timid to interrupt.
Do we need to have another production meeting?
But that's true of a lot of this podcast.
Now I'm feeling guilt, Thomas.
No, it's my own fault, really. We have a vague reputation of this being a podcast where, during the film talky bits, you do a lot of the talking.
I do. And I beg of you to interrupt. Please do. And disagree with me.
I am socially untrained, shall we say.
Oh, this whole podcast is actually a project of mine to train my son in the finer arts of conversation that I'm such an expert at. Ask anyone if I dare step foot in any social situation where small talk is required.
Heaven forbid you go to a certain discount retail.
This is where I nod
where you
knowingly.
formerly worked.
Yeah. Heaven forbid I have to do that and talk to people that I used to work with. Yeah. So how's it going? Good. How's the family? Good. So what are you up to? Good.
At least you go out.
Good. Anyway.
We do have one guess.
We do have one guess, yep.
That is Batnut Inc. BATNTINC.
Now, you did suggest that what I came up with was going to be difficult for people to get.
But that's only because of compression.
Yes. Where does one compress?
I felt there were a lot of options.
There were a lot of options. So how did Helen fare?
Oh, she got it.
Of course she did.
Yeah.
Yeah. B-A-T, Bat, Nut, Inc.
Yeah.
She got it.
Not a problem.
Well done.
Yeah.
Have an arbitrary point.
Yeah.
You, and only you, get an arbitrary point. Well done.
I have no idea how you fit this particular one into 8 characters.
Okay.
And I am scared to ask.
Again, I stress that it didn't involve a lot of thought other than being confronted with such a long title.
Okay. Yes. Yes, that is a good choice.
All right. So I've just shown Thomas the file name for this week's episode for the movie Kind Hearts and Coronets, and Thomas believes it to be a decent choice, which means no one will get it.
Yeah.
Please, though, submit your suggestions for what I selected as the file name, and also any other comments and things that we can make small talk about.
You know what we've done? We have created a podcast format that opens immediately with small talk.
I know. And we were doomed from the start. Yeah. And I've known that right from the start. It's why I dread podcasting every week, is that I know that the question is going to be, so what have you been up to? Nothing. How's your family? Good.
Dunno, don't get out of my room much.
Yeah. So, any kind of contribution that will promote lengthy conversation that we will cut short because we won't know what to do with it. Those can be sent to
any of the usual places.
Yeah, that are listed in the show notes and in the closing blurb that we're getting very close to right
or
now. Or
possibly where you are listening.
Indeed. Yeah, please do so. Anyway, I think we shall move on.
Yes.
Pick a film for next week so we can go to bed.
And it's your turn.
I was sort of amused a moment ago as I was opening up my movies. A pop-up came up that said, so we noticed that you upgraded to the Pro version after using the free version for a little bit. Would you like to go back and rate the free version?
Yes. They are stuck in a situation where they do have to have both versions up. And if the free version doesn't get good ratings, then people are less likely to A, try that, and B, realise how good it is, and therefore go for the paid version. So they're caught between a rock and a hard place.
It just particularly amuses me because it has been years?
It has been years
Yeah.
that we've been using it, indeed.
Since the free version was even on this device.
Indeed. Hey, guess what I have on my device?
Oh, yeah?
I have version 5 on my device. I'm testing it, and that's not yet available to the consumer at the moment. But ironing out bugs, of which I have contributed and had one ironed out already. So,
Is it much the same as version 4?
Thomas, I could lie to you and say no, but they're just polishing things just a little bit more and adding things and stretching it to fit a broader media usage. But I will pay for it when it becomes
So sort of going down the collector's route.
I don't know, I haven't kept track with them for many a year now.
Yeah.
You digress.
I do.
It's your turn to digress.
It is.
It's your turn. Still.
And I need to pick something.
You do.
Anything, really.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. If only there was some way you could just, shake your device and it would just randomly choose one for you.
Problem is, I don't really...
You don't trust the algorithm.
No,
The random algorithm.
I don't trust my list anymore.
No.
Because I made it 4 years ago,
Yeah,
almost.
you're a different person now.
Yeah.
I should point out, dear listener, that he's had all week to pick a film. Go on, say you've been busy, even though at the beginning of the podcast you've said to our dear listener, I haven't done anything.
Yes, but I was at least thinking about those other things that I could have been doing.
See, I've still got on my calendar 2 choices in advance.
Well,
That's how
I'm happy
good
for
I
you.
am.
That sounds lovely.
It does.
Did we watch that? I can't remember. That's not helpful.
It's not helpful, but it's very, very familiar.
I can at least remember, a few episodes back,
Yeah.
if I see it.
Yeah.
It's okay, you're watching it tick up, but all of this can be cut out.
I know, but I've still got to do the cutting.
No, we haven't. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Let's go for something underappreciated, in my not-so-recent opinion.
Thomas the Tank Engine.
No.
And the Secret Island.
No.
Magic Island? I don't know.
No, I
The
think it was
Magic-
Secret Island.
Right.
Yeah. Which, not something that should be tucked away in my mind, to be honest. But it is.
All right.
We find ourselves in the far distant past of 2015.
All the way back then.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a Disney live-action movie
Right.
with George Clooney.
Oh, okay. Ah. Is it a Brad Bird film? Brad Bird?
Yes.
I
Yes.
wish my stomach would stop gurgling. That's rude.
We've got a Brad Bird, we've got a Damon Lindelof, we've got a Jeff Jensen, all on the writing team.
Yeah, but I think it was Brad Bird that copped
Yeah.
the most flack for this underappreciated gem. That I'm still fumbling around for the actual name of. It's a Wonderland World thingy.
Close. It's one of a long line of Disney films that take their names from theme park attractions.
Tomorrowland.
Yes.
Excellent. No, I'm excited about that. Cool. Certainly well worth a revisit with a headspace that sounds very much the same as yours. That I recall it being better than everyone said or suggested, but we shall see.
Yes, this podcast has a way of changing what we thought.
It does.
Once we have to actually examine the film.
Look, maybe we need to not do that one. No. Please tell our dear listener what Tomorrow World is all about.
Tomorrowland.
Disneyland World. Tomorrow.
Join former boy genius Frank, optimistic science-minded teen Casey, mysterious Athena, and the brilliant David Nix in a world of pure Disney imagination.
That's what we're watching next. Sorry.
Which is sandwiched with self-congratulatory yes.
Okay. That's what we're watching next week. Tomorrow World. Land. Tomorrowland. We hope
bodes
that
well.
we hope we land this next week, and we hope that you land on this channel next week. But until then, we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
You have been listening to Cellulose Free. Your hosts were Colin, who produces and edits the show, and Thomas, who makes the artwork and music. Cellulose Free is recorded in the Deranged Cat Studios in scenic Tasmania, Australia. We keep track of our extensive physical media collection through My Movies, which we highly recommend. You can find links to that, as well as other places you can find us in the show notes. Cellulose Free is a Hi Hello production.
Same cellulose-free time. Same cellulose-free channel.
Oh dear. You haven't been watching Batman, have you?
I haven't.
Oh, okay.
Cultural osmosis.
It is. What a thing to osmose. I'm stopping.
No, hold on.
Yeah.
So, Death Bus for Hope happened a couple weeks back.
Did it?
Yeah. Video Strike team, we have a piece of software that we call Thrimble Trimmer for some obscure reference reason that I can't remember. I think it's a reference to an old Loading Ready Run video, but it's old enough that it is in the dark and dreary... Where can I actually find this video times? And we use FFmpeg because everybody uses FFmpeg.
Oh, of course they do.
For any sort of video work.
Nods knowing that.
And it allows you to implement custom transitions using maths. We only implemented transitions this year, and one of the things that was added as a custom transition was, of course, the Batman logo. I have no idea how much it has been used. I have access to the database. I could probably work out how many Batman transitions were used over the course of the over 1,000 videos that we produced over the run. But yeah, we also have clock wipes and star wipes and
you've
irises.
Got to. Anything worth its salt has to have an overabundance of cheesy wipes like that are overused.
Clock wipes especially useful in the Desert Bus for Hope context.
Yeah.
Because often what you are cutting out is the passage of time as other things happen.
Absolutely.
Anyway, you can stop now.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Is you sure this button here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll press it.